We finally did it. Multiplayer Gaming Podcast has a Patreon you can join right now. You can now get exclusive access to our Discord server and see behind the scenes as we talk about the games you know and love, as well as uncover those gems you haven't heard of yet. You can have the chance to game with Josh, Paul, and I, and get sweet custom shirts, games, stickers, and more. Just go to multiplayersquad.com to sign up for the Patreon. Welcome to the Multiplayer Gaming Podcast, a video game podcast that's rated 5 stars by people like you. Today, you're listening to our weekly episode of This Week in Gaming. We have a great episode for you today, but let me start by introducing my two best virtual friends, Paul.
Oh, virtual friends. Does that mean I'm like your Tamagotchi, Todd? Do you know what those are?
You do make me feed you every day. I thought it was Tamagotchi.
And occasionally discipline and yell at them.
Was discipline an option?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember making my sister cry because I would grab her Tamagotchi and I would keep hitting to discipline, and she would get very upset. I'm sorry, Miranda.
Oh my goodness. And my other second favorite virtual best friend, I saved it. Josh.
Good call. All right. I went from really sad to happy and then just confused.
You stuck the landing, Todd.
Yeah. And then, am I like a
Nailed
Furby?
it.
Furbies aren't really virtual though, right? I mean, they're like really cute and super hairy. So is that like...
I think you're just a gremlin.
Oh, hey, I'll take being a gremlin. Gremlins are awesome.
I'm going to go there. Paul, the other day, we are having this conversation, and Paul's just confused by the rules in Gremlin.
What? There's
This
3
is
very
not
simple
true.
rules.
I said, I don't get gremlins, as in, like, I don't get why people like it. And then Todd started launching into how simple the rules are. You don't feed them after midnight. And I'm like, no, I get the logic. I don't get why people love it.
Is it 3? I feel like there's 3 rules. It's don't feed them after midnight.
Yeah. Don't feed them. Don't get them wet.
Well, that's the major rule, is never get them wet.
Right. One of
right?
the
Or
3.
is it don't feed them after midnight?
Both of them. And then there was a third one.
Yeah, what's the third rule?
I know something like microwaving them makes them explode, right? Something like
Yes, that is definitely correct.
I feel like that's the rule that doesn't need to be
It applies to most things.
Don't microwave these.
Oh, and do not expose the gremlin to sunlight. That's the
Really?
third rule. Yeah, I just looked it up on
So they're
Wikipedia.
vampires? I never realized gremlins are vampires.
Do not expose
Yeah.
them to light, especially sunlight. Do not let them come in contact with water. And above all, never feed it after midnight.
Dude, those movies were great.
Not a fan.
I loved them.
You just didn't get the rules.
Yeah.
Well, now that I
That's
understand,
fine.
I'm going to have to go back.
Paul be the guy that's like, oh, sure, you're hungry? Go ahead, have a snack. It's only 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the whole world ends, Paul.
All right, guys. So it's a perfect segue from Gremlins into our first topic. Both of you guys have VR headsets, and I'm the gremlin out of the group right now.
Yeah.
We do have virtual reality headsets. I'm still rocking a little bit
Paul,
of the forehead band marking. But yes.
if I'm correct, Paul, you just got an Oculus Quest 2 today.
Yes,
Right?
today.
And
Mhm.
it was your first time ever trying like true VR, not the phone VR where you do the cardboard nonsense.
Yeah. I
Right.
had done lots of like Google Cardboard and that kind of stuff. So this was the more newer, better technology for sure.
Actual VR.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, it was funny because Paul did start off with the ring around his face, which is
Yep.
like telltale sign of like I've been playing VR. So what were your thoughts, man? What did you play first of all?
Well, obviously, it's a must buy, Beat Saber.
Yes.
So right now, that's the only game that we have on it. So my kids for the last week have been arguing over whether or not they should pool their money and keep saving to buy an Oculus Quest 2. And so I asked them how much money they had. I actually owed them 2 months of allowance each. So we added everything up. And I said, okay, I'll just go ahead and pay the difference. because I want to play it also. So let's go ahead and pick one up. And what I really want to do is link it to my PC, but I couldn't find a cable locally. So I'm going to have to wait a couple days until that arrives. Because I'm very curious to play like Phasmophobia, Star Wars Squadrons. So I haven't been able to do any of that yet, just the standalone VR.
Nice. Did you do the demo that they give you with the little, like, pick up the, like, cubes and you can stack them and the little rockets that you can shoot and stuff like that?
I think I might have missed that because my kids played with it first, and then they just had me enter my credit card information for Beat Saber. So the first that I played was Beat Saber. Although I was already very well acquainted with all the music because my kids will just play the Beat Saber soundtrack on our Google Home.
Oh, really?
So I already knew all the songs, and let's be real, they're all the same song. All the Beat Saber songs are the same.
I will say this. There is one of my favorite songs to this day I found on Beat Saber. It's under the extras. And if you go into the extras category, it's at the very bottom. It's called Angel Voices by Virtual Self.
Okay.
It's like a 6-minute song. It is phenomenal. I had no idea the song existed before Beat Saber, and now I absolutely love that song. So check it out.
Josh going into the deep tracks.
Yeah. It's just, it's funny what you can discover from this game. But what did you think?
I thought it was a blast. I mean, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's amazingly fun. I mean, you see the videos and you see it, but at the same time, once you actually have it on your head and you've got these blocks that you chop up and then all the pieces are, floating past you, incredibly fun. I mean, Todd, I know you and I have been the VR holdouts. Do you have any interest in picking up VR at any point, or are you just kind of out on that concept?
All right. So, I mean, I'll just go there.
You just ordered one?
Selling stuff on Craigslist. So I just unloaded probably like couple $100, $400, $500 worth of slightly dated tech stuff to Josh to sell on Craigslist.
Oh, how funny.
I got no problem dealing with people at all, man. You know me, I'll like talk to anybody. So it's like, yeah. So,
I mean, we're talking about like Bose headphones, Bose computer speakers, a nice, like fully weighted keyboard. I don't know what else is in there.
Yeah. Todd will have a VR headset soon.
It's just a few days. So do you get a percentage of the cut, Josh?
Of course. Yeah. What am I going to do all this out of the kindness of my heart? What do you think I am?
Oh, okay. So we'll have Todd soon enough.
And I knew it as soon as Paul posted in the group, guys, I bought a VR headset, or I think it might be I'm buying one. I was like, all right, I have to. Like it was just Paul and Paul converted, so it's just me. I'm not going to be by myself over here.
Well, you might want to order it sooner than later. It looked like online, most of them don't ship for a month or so. And then I ended up picking it up from Best Buy curbside delivery about 12 miles away. So...
Oh, dang.
It looks like it's a little bit limited, but it's been very fun so far. Although I just have Beat Saber, so I'm going to have to add another game or two. So I'm going to need some suggestions.
I'll give you, here's the thing. The cool thing about VR, like Beat Saber is very, very mild, like to where you won't get nauseous or motion sick or any of that stuff. There's some games that will make you, will definitely mess with your brain. So they kind of cover the gamut of like, stand still and have stuff happen, or like move around, which is even cooler, but then feel like you're going to throw up 20 minutes later, until you build up a tolerance to it. But what's really, really cool. So I'll give you a suggestion here on the air. There is a game called Blast On. It's $10. It is a 1v1 multiplayer game. So I would love to play this, but basically VR multiplayer is an insane experience.
Okay.
Like there is nothing quite like being able to see your virtual friend and have them wave at you, and you see the little like VR hands and stuff, and they can like point and dance and do all this, and you know what I mean? And then you can like air high five, and I mean there's voice over IP too. But being able to do all that and then just sit there and act the fool is phenomenal, man. But this Blast On game is 1v1. like one guy stands on a platform, the other guy stands on a platform, and you get these guns, these cartoon guns that spawn around you that all shoot like different kinds of bullets. And they shoot real slow, so you can see them flying at you because the 3D effect is phenomenal in VR. And you have to dodge the bullets while you're shooting your guns at the other guy. And it's basically like...
Ooh, Neo style.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter otherwise. Like, it's mano-y-mano. You have a health bar, and every time you get shot, your health bar goes down a little bit. And it is insanely fun. There's all kinds of unlockables that you get, new guns that you get, but you're dodging... You're literally like ducking down in real life to like dodge bullets that are flying over your head, like while you're frantically like shooting at the other guy. It's great.
And there's no cables, so I'm gonna do cartwheels. I'm gonna be dodging these bullets. Somersaults, cartwheels, flips.
Dude, it's funny. I was playing with our buddy Andy because I talked him into getting it, and we were both just cracking up. But at one point, I thought like I had him, and Andy jumps in the air, and I could see his guy literally like jump, and I was just like, "Did you just jump?" And he was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to get shot." But it was hilarious, man. So it's the best $9.99 you will spend, and then we can fight each other, which would be great. So, and your kids will love it too. It's so much fun.
Oh, I'm sure, and I know Todd would love Beat Saber. I feel like it's the natural progression of DDR. You were a DDR fan, right, Todd?
No.
Oh, you weren't?
I mean, I played like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, but DDR, I had friends that had like the mats and everything.
Oh, I had the mats too.
I didn't get that into it.
Oh, I loved DDR. So much fun.
I never got into DDR. But yeah, I'll shoot you some cool games. And then if you've got the link cable, you can do Steam VR. And some of the other like higher end VR games, because the Quest is slightly limited due to the processing power on it. But I've been dying to try Half-Life Alyx, which is hands down, like everybody agrees is the best VR game ever made so far. And so you need the cable to play that. I haven't actually tried that one yet. And then there's another game that got really, really good reviews called Boneworks. But they say that one's a little bit more intense. Like there's a lot more movement to that and stuff too. And I haven't tried that one either. So there's still some games I want to try, but yeah, it's nice. It's a crazy world, man.
I think my link cable comes in like 4 or 5 days. So as soon as that comes in, I'm definitely going to be checking out everything on the Steam store.
Yeah. Todd?
It's on you now.
That's true.
It's not on me anymore.
Come on, Josh.
Dang it.
Todd.
I know.
Todd.
Wait a minute. All I'm going to get is Todd going, "Josh, it's your fault I can't experience VR yet." And I'm going to be like, "I'm sorry, Todd. I'm sorry."
TikTok, Josh. Get going. Make cold call sales.
Yeah.
to others. Just start DMing everyone you know.
How do you feel about this 7-year-old PlayStation?
Yeah. Hey, man, I just sold my PlayStation to help afford my Quest. You know,
yeah.
Paul, you did it right, man. You made your kids pay for the majority of it, and then you pitched in the rest.
Yeah.
Like, I paid for the majority of mine, and then my kids pitched in the rest.
I said, let's just all pay $100 each, and that'll be the deal. And so they agreed to it. So yeah, I got a good deal on this one. Until my kids break it, at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, as long as they don't smash their face. I do remember way back in the day when I first had my Rift, I was playing in my office, and I went to like crouch down because like to look under something, and I smashed my face into my desk. And I remember like I was so scared that I like broke my brand new Oculus, and thankfully they're pretty durable. My face, on the other hand, not quite so much, but
all right, next on our list, we have... Oh, man, I can't. All right. NBA 2K21. I guess this isn't new, but it's worth mentioning. Has unskippable ads in the middle of their $60 game.
What the... Are you... Wait, now this is not EA game. You said NBA 2K, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Did they not learn...
From Fight Night or whatever like, the UFC one was.
Is this like the guy where like you hire the guy that worked at EA that got fired? You know what I mean? And you were like, "Well, I see you want to work at 2K." And he's like, "Yeah, I came over from EA and got some great ideas."
Here's my contributions. Select all, copy, paste, and we're going to add some ads. It seems like that's all they do every year. The games don't change, except for apparently now we just add unskippable ads to games now.
Sports games are getting ridiculous with like Madden having Madden 20 like logos in the stands, UFC Fight Night having paid ads in like the middle of their content, like 2K21 paid ads. Like they've been notorious for exploiting on like loot boxes and like cards to like pay to win mechanics, and then they're just like repeats of the same game. Like, sports games are the worst. It's like literally the worst of all of the things that could be bad about a game. It's just repetitive. I don't know.
The problem is, as gamers, we're the ones that need to stand up to that. Like, honestly, I mean, EA sneaking it in like months after the game released, like, that's one of those things where that's really shady, but at least you didn't buy the game knowing that. But if you buy a game knowing that the company that is selling you this game is doing extremely shady practices, you're just like, you can't complain. At that point, you can't complain.
Do you guys know anyone who still buys these games, though? Like, I used to love the NBA 2K games, and the last one I bought was 10 years ago, the Michael Jordan Special Edition one. And I don't even know anyone who plays Madden anymore because they just aren't fun, and they're full of bugs, and they don't change much year to year. I don't understand why they don't just pour some inventiveness in, and I feel like they would sell a ton more copies.
Because they don't have to.
I guess they just don't have to, yeah. I guess ideally you would come out with one every 3 years or something, right? Like, update the rosters along the way, but actually release a new game with super improvements. But I guess if you just care about the bottom line, which, you know, they're a company, that's what they should do, but it's just sad. I wish we had competitors.
But I don't understand with like all these MMOs out there that seem to make money, like with one, like Destiny makes a ton of money, and like they have seasons and other stuff that they make revenue along the way. It just seems like sports games needs to go down that route of having seasons where you can unlock special stuff or cosmetics or whatever else, but just stop making people buy a $60 game.
Keep buying
when
them.
there's
Think about it. I mean, if I was a business, as shady as it sounds, if I can put minimal effort and say, here, 5 developers, change the logo from 2020 to 2021,
or at least 80% of the logos.
Right. Yeah, tout some system that's, sounds like
one
it's
guy
new,
got fired
that isn't really, and then sell it for $60, and 5 million people buy it at $60. I mean, okay. Yeah. And people keep buying it every year. That's why I say it's almost like if you know this and you buy it, it's like you clicking the thing that says, I accept the terms and conditions, and I understand that I'm going to be fully taken advantage of. I'm going to be shown ads during this game. And please take my $60.
I would love to read an EULA that reads exactly like that.
Please take my money.
I love the, have you guys seen these companies that have started hiding quests and stuff in the EULAs?
No.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
That's
so
funny though.
Yeah. Here's a funny tidbit. Baldur's Gate 3. I think we talked about that a little while ago. But in their EULA, if you read it, there's actually a quest in there that says like, hey, if, go to this URL, and if you go to it, you get signed up for like the Genius Club, I think they call it, or something like that. And then it unlocks something in the game for you.
Oh, how funny.
But it's Larian Studios' way of saying, like, I can't believe you actually read this. Like, good on you. And here's like a reward for that. I've heard of other companies doing that too.
I think there was like an insurance company or something where if you read the contract, they had call this number and you'll be awarded a $2,000 prize. And there was like one woman who called in, like actually read her entire insurance policy and got a prize.
And that's
so funny.
The worst of the worst. Like an insurance policy, like that's just going to be, no one understands.
You got to know those exclusions, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How funny.
Next we have, all I have here is Overwatch is back, baby. That's we're back in Overwatch.
We've been playing a little bit of Overwatch. You want to know what brought me back in, Todd?
The voice line.
The voice lines.
It's awful.
Dude, you gotta tell this story though, because we were dying. I mean,
it was all night.
Oh, all night. So I've said this before on the pod, but it's been a while. My favorite thing in Overwatch is to pick the most annoying voice lines and just spam them the entire game. And the longer the voice line, the better. Because if they're long enough, you can loop it forever. And they added the greatest voice line with Baptiste, who I don't even like to play. But they added a bunch of Halloween voice lines. And what does he yell? He just goes, "Behind you! Ah!"
That's pretty good.
But I just loop it over and over. "Behind you! Ah! Behind you! Ah!" And everybody was getting so mad in our games that everybody was typing in the match text chat, "Baptiste, please stop. Baptiste, you will pay for these sins." And I just would not stop because it was too funny.
All right. You played that voice line so much. I didn't even know that's what the voice line was. I thought it was behind you, but when you're looping it over and over, you don't know where it stops and where it begins.
Yeah, it's the other way around. That's so funny.
To the other players' credit, some of the people found it absolutely hilarious. Like, we were dying.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point where we got the giggles from this, and we were just cracking up.
Well, because I would get play of the game. And play of the game, you hear the voice lines. So it was me killing a McCree mid-ult, and my Baptiste is still going, "Behind you! Ah!"
But then people at the
another
end,
game. There was another game where you didn't get play of the game, but still, all you hear is "behind you!" Ah!
Oh, man. That's why, I mean, I love Overwatch. We've kind of fallen away from it for a while, but it's stuff like that you can't get in a lot of games.
Yeah.
You know? And that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's a personal favorite of mine, along with Mercy. Would you like the sponge or the spray?
Well, you were playing Rhine, and you and I were chasing down the enemy Moira last night,
yeah.
And she was backpedaling, saw me and you coming after her, and you're going, "Come here, bring me another. Come here." And like, we finally got her. And then just in chat, you just see LOL, like Ryan.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Oh, I've always been a big fan of incorporating the voice lines. So I will always keep "come here" as one of my voice lines. Because if I'm ever chasing someone, I'll always bust that out. I love it.
It's so dang funny.
I'll say this. I had a lot of fun playing Overwatch. It's our number one game for a reason. Stepping away from it for a couple months and then coming back to it makes me see what is great, but it also accentuates the flaws too. And I think we talked about it a little bit the other night, but we got this DPS that was actually, we had a terrible McCree and a Moira that only wanted to DPS and never heal. And it was just like,
so typical Moira.
Right. Yeah. Typical Moira. But it was just, it was so frustrating to just keep crashing up against the other team. Like, it was just waves on a rock, and it was nothing we could do because these two people on our team had no clue how to play or just didn't care, and it's like, I get, like, you're supposed to still have fun and play the game, but that's not fun for me at that point. Like, this is just frustration at these two people.
If you're a really bad DPS, you can submarine your entire team's match if you're bad enough, or if you don't switch and you're being hard countered, and that can be very frustrating.
And that's like the frustrating thing, at least with quick play, is someone will pick Widow and they're doing okay, and then they get a monkey, like the other team gets a monkey and they get hard countered and they stay Widow and then they're useless, and you're like, "Hey, switch," and they're like, "It's quick play, I'm practicing," and I'm like, "You're Widow and you're being hard countered.
Right. Your practice is knowing when to switch.
Yeah, go practice Reaper now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. We had also been playing a little bit of Warzone as well, not to like change the subject or anything, but we saw just a lot of those same things where you just see these flaws that you kind of forget, oh yeah, this is kind of why I quit playing. So bad DPS, healers who don't heal in Overwatch, Warzone, we go up against these people who are using controllers with aim assist versus the rest of us on PC, and you start shooting each other from long range, and the one person who has aim assist always wins that 1v1 every time. And so that was a little frustrating also.
They need to tone that down. Like I get the theory that, hey, PC players have widescreen monitors and higher frame rates and that kind of stuff. And so we want to level the playing field. And, mouse and keyboard is more accurate than a controller. So if you're pretty good at using those, then you have kind of an unfair advantage. But I'm a mediocre Warzone player. I'm not real great. I'm not absolutely terrible. But when I come up against a guy that has, is playing on Xbox and he gets aim assist to where it locks onto me, as long as his reticle is near me, and I have to control the kick on the gun and move my mouse and, account for recoil and all that. And this guy can just every single bullet land on me from 40 yards away. That just gets frustrating, man.
The only reasonable solution that we can do going forward is I'll switch to controller.
Which is what I told Josh I was going to start practicing, because I love Warzone that much. I want it to be in the rotation. I love that Overwatch is back with us. But for Warzone, I do feel like I'm going to just have to pick up a controller and learn how to play.
There has to be a way to dial it down. I get the need for aim assist on a controller. I really do. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist, but I feel like it's too strong at the
when
moment.
You're full auto at
right
100 meters away, it's a game breaker.
Yeah, and then it's just I'm landing shots, but just due to natural recoil, a few of my bullets are missing, and that guy never misses a single bullet. And then it's just well, now I'm the one that's at a disadvantage, and it shouldn't be that way.
Maybe we should just download some mouse scripts, like what destroyed PUBG.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez. Too far.
Never be a hacker. Never.
I don't even... Where do you go? The dark web for hackers?
Todd
knows all about it.
Come on.
You want some of my dark web stuff?
I would love nothing more than to hear
two
Todd's
units of dark web. I don't even know.
The king of dark web.
Oh, I've never been to a website that I didn't Google first, so I'm out. It's even if I know the website's name, if it's Best Buy, I'm typing in Best Buy into search and then clicking the first one. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Go to altavista.com, type Best Buy.
I want to let Google know. I know they're curious. What sites are you visiting? And it's here, going to Best Buy.
Excuse me, Google, can you please tell me the URL for Best Buy?
Please direct me. I need instructions.
Please and thank you.
It's like when you when you pull up your map GPS, because we live, in 2020.
I was going to say, you went MapQuest route? Wow.
When do you guys ever pull up directions even though you know where you're going?
No.
I'm the opposite. As soon as I know where I am, I'll turn off my maps.
I do the same thing to save my battery. Yeah.
I'm not worried about the battery. I'm just I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
I think I use it for the timer. I like to know that I'm 15 minutes away. But, yeah, that's just me.
Or Todd just gets lost really, really easy.
Doesn't want to admit it. I don't know where I am right now. This might not be my house. All right.
They have really good podcasting equipment, though.
Oh, all right. That is our show for you today. Thank you for listening to This Week in Gaming. If you're not subscribed, make sure to go into your podcasting app and subscribe to get fresh content twice a week. If you're interested in finding out more information, you can find us on our website, multiplayerpodcast.com, Patreon, Multiplayer Squad, Twitch TV, Multiplayer Pod, Twitter, all of the socials. Multiplayer Pod. And see you guys Monday.
See ya, everyone.
Monday. Do you know I used to love watching monster trucks?
Really?
Funny tidbit. I actually got really into that for a little while.
Were you into wrestling too? I feel like
I was.
wrestling.
I was so into wrestling back in the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior, like Randy Macho Man Savage, Jake the Snake days. This was like, I don't know, mid 90s, I guess.
I'm leaving.
What? Dude,
it's still real to me, darn it.